People trying to say I'm only enemy. Got a code with my dogs, can get in between. I can give them life, no more energy. Amen. Amen.
What is up, everybody? We're getting into the depths of the first round these days. We've had some good games, some great games lately. Jay
Yes, we
just
have.
unfortunately had to miss some of them because he's been traveling, but
Yeah.
he's back with us. We got some 4 games to talk about today, a great slate. So we'll just get right into it. Let's not waste any time. The first one that's on the slate today is, I believe, the Bucks and Pacers game. No Damian Lillard, unfortunately. He tore his Achilles at the start of last game. Horrible. But from a betting perspective, it did give us some upside, some new things to look at, because the second half starting lineup for the Bucks told us a lot. For the first time, we saw Kevin Porter Jr., Gary Trent, and Bobby Portis all start. Brook Lopez is no longer starting, only got 5 minutes in the second half. We said Brook Lopez was going to get played off the court. It was just a matter of time.
Playing from iPhone 38.
Sorry about that. His minutes went down in every game, and now they're at an all-time low. Expecting it to stay that way. What I think makes it interesting is I don't think the Bucks are the better team anymore, especially with Damian Lillard down. But I do think this fresh look and finally releasing their commitment from the guys that shouldn't be on the court does give them a better chance than I think most people realize in this game. They can switch a little better. They can keep up with the pace a little better. They can space the court a little better. But Pacers are still 8-point favorites. JJ, what you got for us?
Yeah, with the Bucks, their Doc Rivers specifically is hell bent on just switch. So they're going to continue to rock with that small ball lineup, and it just really comes down to whether these guys are going to knock down their shots. I don't think this defense is going to improve much. There's not really much adjustments they are going to make or what they can make, because they're still going to play their zone defense. They're mix that in, switch everything, and it just hasn't worked out well for them. Pacers are moving the ball very well, which is what you need to do against the zone defense, and they've been the best team in the playoffs passing the ball. Like, they're miles ahead of everybody with assists. So they need a Giannis masterclass here to even have a chance to win this game.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's what we're going to get. I mean,
yeah,
let's not forget, Giannis is probably the second best player in the world right now, if we're considering both sides of the ball behind Jokic. If you want to say Shea, fine, top 3. Having that be the case and you're down 3-1 and there's really nobody else that would justify taking usage from you, you're probably, if I'm him, I'm not doing much passing. I'm saying unless I'm getting triple teamed, I am bulldozing anybody in front of me and I'm scoring at will. So that's kind of what I expect, a legacy type of performance from Giannis, as long as the game stays close enough. But on top of that, Halliburton's usage has been, not his usage has been insane, but his contribution to the offense has been insane. 111 touches last game, I think 93 passes, 21 potential assists, and it's been like that the whole series. We mentioned that Bucks are switching a lot. We expected that to take some of that away. But when you're switching on to AJ Green and Bobby Portis, it's still fairly easy for him to get downhill and force everybody to collapse and then kick out. He's had his way against this defense and Doc Rivers. And unless the Bucks have something new to show him that we haven't seen yet, which I don't think they do, probably the same thing's going to continue.
Yeah.
All right. Next game, we got the Pistons and the Knicks. This has been a dogfight. I think we've had at least 2 games decided by just one possession, maybe 3. I can't remember what the score of game 2, but it's been close. And the big thing that's been a problem for the Pistons, and the reason they're down 3-1, even though all these games are finishing so close, is Cade Cunningham is averaging the second most turnovers in a playoff run since LeBron was brought into the league in 2003. The only player that had more turnovers per game than him in a playoff run was Trae Young in 2021. And by the way, if Cade gets 7 or more turnovers today, he will be past that now. So 6 turnovers per game is absolutely disastrous when you have multiple games decided by 1 point. ultimately those turnovers end up being the deciding factor. Last game, the Pistons dug themselves in a huge hole because not only could they not make their shots early, which, by the way, they were bailed out by Jalen Duren dominating the offensive glass, but they just wouldn't stop turning the ball over. And it's like the Knicks defense, they're not the Thunder. There's really not an excuse for it other than get your head out of your ass and stop turning the ball over. And that's been a big issue for them because outside of that, I truly believe that they've been playing better basketball and had a better game plan than the Knicks. It's not crazy to say that they should be up in this series 3-1.
Yeah, I think the Detroit Pistons got to knock down some shots like Tim Hardaway, Malik Beasley, Dennis Schroeder. They all don't have good games all like in one game yet. It's always been one out of the three that just have a solid game. Tobias Harris has been playing well, so expecting him to been doing what he's been doing. I mean, he's had a solid matchup to like just take advantage of. Cade is still getting blitzed a lot. 3 out of the 4 games he's been blitzed heavily. And those are the games he had 20 plus assists or potential assists. And the one game that we did put him in our little ladder, he did not do well because he did not get blitzed. So
that was the only one.
Yeah.
Go figure. But I do think Pistons, they're in desperation mode. It's not like they've been outclassed. They're probably going to take this one, even though it's at MSG. I mean, players, realistically, as much as we want to say MSG is the home ground for the Knicks, these away players love to play at MSG because it's so historic. So there is the same edge you get from, getting that home boost. The away team also gets that boost from like, we're playing at MSG. This is awesome. And I mean, I think Malik Beasley was the one who came out and said it. He was like, yeah, MSG is one of my favorite places to play in the NBA. So I still think the Pistons probably come out and steal one here.
Yeah.
All right. One more thing to talk about before we move on to the next game. The Jalen Brunson and Cat pick and roll is not something that I think has been used enough because Tobias Harris being on Karl-Anthony Towns probably got them away from it a little bit. But even then, if you force a switch, then you have 2 mismatches. And there's been times where Tobias Harris has gotten in foul trouble, and it's been Jalen Duren. And that's exactly when you want to use it because you have the pick and pop game. But they're just not using it. They're basically giving it to one of them at the top of the key or at an empty side wing and saying, isolation, go work. And they've gotten away with it to this point because, again, the Pistons keep shooting themselves in the foot. But if I'm a Knicks fan, I'm not optimistic about what happens after this series because of how they're utilizing their offense. They're not optimizing it nearly enough. So Brunson's been getting a bunch of assists and passing opportunities, likely because his usage has been insane, but there hasn't been any offensive setup that's been inviting to any of that. It's really just been which side is the help coming from, if there is help, and then where is it going? It's been kind of random. So that's been my only really concern with the Knicks offense because personnel-wise, they have been better. It's just the game plans. The Pistons have somehow been better every game, and they're just not coming through with it. But we can get to the next game, Celtics and Magic. Celtics are another team. All these teams, by the way, are looking to complete the elimination. They're all up 3-1. Celtics are up 3-1 against the Magic back home at the TD Garden. Do we have any hope in the Orlando Magic?
Of course not. Why would we have hope when you have no offense outside of Franz and Paolo? There's nothing else. And nobody is stepping up. The only guys that they have, Cole Anthony's like really like the only offensive hope. KCP doesn't really want to do anything. But Cole Anthony can't even stay on the court because he keeps getting hunted, so it doesn't even matter.
Cole Anthony got 2 minutes last game. I think after game 3 or something, or no, it was after game 2, Mosey said, I sat and watched film with Cole Anthony for hours. We're going to make an effort to get him integrated. Game 3 was like, okay. And then game 4, after 2 minutes, he was like, yeah, we're not doing this again. So they're completely out on the Cole Anthony off the bench boost experience. It's been a lot more Anthony Black, and they've mixed in some Gary Harris here and there. So they don't have much offense, and it doesn't help that the shots that Franz and Banchero are getting, part of it is they're forcing bad shots, and somehow like they're forcing tough shots that you see them shoot that shot, and you're like, I don't know. You could have gotten a better shot, and they're somehow making them anyways. So credit to them. Tip the hat. They've been making a lot of difficult shots in the series. The issue is, one, they're all twos. So as we've seen this whole efficiency argument in the NBA, threes are worth more than twos. It's one of the least efficient shots in the NBA. Two, none of them are at the rim. They're all pull-ups, off-shoulder floaters, post-up fadeaways, all this shit. So they're not high-quality shots, and they're not getting help from anybody else spacing the floor, not just because they're not shooting well, but the positioning around them is disastrous. So that's not their fault. They've actually played great series, and some of it is the Boston defense just being structured really well, but some of it is just flat-out horrible offensive scheme in terms of who's off the ball and where. So that's been a whole issue. It's honestly a miracle that they won one game, because Boston, they're head and shoulders better, and they've picked their spots brilliantly. Like Corey Joseph, every time he's on Tatum or Brown, it's an immediate ISO. Nobody even thinks about coming to set a screen or anything, and it's worked every single time. They've gotten by him every single time. And then Derek White and Kristaps Porzingis pick and roll. I don't know why Derek White is the person that the Magic are choosing to blitz in the pick and roll, but I guess that's what Mosley wants. And then they're leaving Kristaps open on the short roll, and nobody's rotating one up. It's been a disaster. I have zero hope in the Magic pulling another one out here.
Yeah, the Celtics broke them down pretty much. They got two shooters in the corners, another guy in the paint. So basically just everything along the baseline allows Tatum and Brown to go one-on-one with no help. So those guys feast off of one-on-one looks. There's nothing these guys can do right now.
Tatum, he's got 27 rebound chances last game. It's pretty clear that the Celtics, they most of the time this series they've had two bigs on the floor, especially with Drew Holiday out. And basically what's happening is Horford and Porzingis, or if Cornette's in the game, it's Cornette. They're both basically boxing out their guys and letting Tatum come in and get an uncontested rebound. Like it's not like Tatum's winning a bunch of rebounds that he shouldn't, or he's just hanging around the basket all the time. It's a very intentful game plan by the Celtics. They want Tatum to grab the rebound, and unless there's somebody else in the vicinity contesting it, the big guys are just leaving it so Tatum can go grab it. So that's the only detail to mention from a prop betting standpoint. Last game of the day, Clippers and Nuggets, the series of the decade, it feels like. We've had an overtime thriller, a buzzer-beating dunk. Kawhi had one of the best offensive performances in a playoff game I think I'll ever witness, and a Clippers blowout. But it's tied 2-2, going back to Denver. JJ, what's your initial thoughts here?
Yeah, I say I'm not expecting much from Jamal Murray in this series. I mean, he's had some decent games, but it's not the playoff Jamal Murray everyone expects.
Yeah.
They kind of made some adjustments defending him off those handoffs. So like they're forcing him more downhill rather than just those little catch and shoot threes, essentially. Force him to the help where Zubac is, and Zubac defends him well in the paint. So, I mean, you got Chris Dunn on him. You had Kawhi on him last game. Like, he didn't do much against those two. Still gonna need a lot from Jokic, scoring, passing, all of it.
It seems like Jokic is committed to the whole "fuck it, I got it." Like, there's no. It's a lot less of like, oh, make sure you guys are rotating around me. I'll find you. If you're open, you'll get it in the corner. It's been a lot more of just, hey, give me the ball, and if they triple team me, then somebody better be at the basket.
Yeah, and starters on both ends played 40+ minutes.
Yeah, all starters played 42 minutes last game. And Russell Westbrook, if he plays, that probably changes a little bit, but as of now, we still don't know.
Yeah, because the Nuggets really don't have a bench outside of Westbrook, so not expecting much from anyone else there. So it's gonna be heavy minutes again for all those guys.
Yep. What else can we talk about on the Clippers side?
Dunn.
Chris Dunn. They're just leaving him open. They're funneling the ball to him. They said the Nuggets have basically said, whoever is defending Chris Dunn, you're not actually defending Chris Dunn. You're helping on whoever has the ball. And they're forcing the ball to Chris Dunn. It's leaving a lot of wide open shots for Chris Dunn. If he's able to knock it down, he's not a horrible shot. I think he's like 37% on wide open shots. So that's serviceable. Yeah. The other potential is, hey, if you get it wide open in the corner, you can go ahead and drive to the basket, force somebody to meet you at the block. Maybe there's a dump off to Zubac. Maybe you can hit it to the opposite corner. You can do a lot of things once you have all that space in front of you. So, and Chris Dunn, he's not a liability per se on offense. He's definitely their worst player on offense, but his handle's decent. He can make good decisions, and like I said,
He
37%.
plays great defense, and that's why
Yeah.
he's going to stay on the court and get solid minutes.
Exactly. So Chris Dunn, he can hold his own on both ends of the court. If you're going to leave him open, he's a good enough basketball player to do something with it.
Yeah.
Harden, I think Braun's still his primary defender, right?
Yeah.
It's not going well for Christian Braun. Braun's getting kind of cooked.
And we said it before the series started. He has no chance.
Yeah, very frequently. Kawhi's being Kawhi. I don't think you need us to tell you that. And there was one other thing I had on the Nuggets side that I'm not. Oh, Aaron Gordon is filling his role really well the last couple of games of just he's no longer like taking the ball out of Jokic's hands or trying to run a play like as if like, oh, Jamal Murray's getting guarded by Chris Dunn, so I'll do it instead. It's been a lot more of Jokic gets the ball and then like Gordon tries to seal off in the paint and that's when it works really well. Or Gordon's back to doing that dunker spot cutting thing that worked really well, that championship run they had. So it's been a lot more of that from Aaron Gordon, and you can very much see that. Like you can just look at the box score, and I can tell you exactly which game he started doing that. So that's been a nice bump for Denver. But Clippers are favored at -2 in this game, or -2 on the spread, -130 on the money line, and that's about like that makes sense. They're on the road, but I do think they're expected to win this one. So that breaks down everything we need to know. Let's get into some parlays because we got two for you. So the first one, our normal format, we got the money line, the points prop, and the rebound and or assist prop. We're going with Clippers money line. The matter is they've been better. They had a blowout when they had an OT win that I think they should have taken. And then last game, they obviously clawed back from a pretty big deficit and almost came back. And I also think the deeper we get into this series, the more trouble it causes for Denver because they don't have much else to do with their offense or defense outside of just get the ball to Jokic and let him work. Meanwhile, the Clippers, I still think they could have 5 more tricks up their sleeve if they wanted to. They can actually use their bench. They have different variations of their offense they can run. They have different people in their core starting or core 4 that can all touch the ball and make something happen for the team. So I think the deeper the series goes, the more it's in the Clippers' favor every game, even if it is in Denver right now. And then for the points and rebounds plus assist props, we have Giannis 32.5 points. Again, elimination game. Call it square. Call it whatever you want. He is one of those guys. He has that kind of mentality that in a 3-1 game where Damian Lillard is out, we can expect him to just try and take over the game. And lastly, Halliburton over 14.5 rebounds plus assists. Like we said, his passing numbers have been absolutely ridiculous. And as long as the pace is up and the Bucks are trying to match that pace, there's rebound upside as well. And our Lotto parlay, Cade, 10 plus assists. Like we said, the Knicks have blitzed him every game except one. He's had 20 plus potential assists in every one of those games he's been blitzed. No reason that can't continue here. Jason Tatum over 10.5 rebounds. It's clear that Boston wants him to be the one grabbing the rebounds. And as long as they do, then we will be betting on that. And lastly, Chris Dunn to make 2 plus threes. Like we said, the Nuggets are leaving him open. They want him to shoot the ball. And he shoots 37% from there. So go give us 4 or 5 attempts, and we can expect him to make 2. So lock those 2 parlays in. I'll put the links for both in the description below so you guys can tell. But otherwise, make sure you guys like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next show. Take care, everybody.